Is the Ecumenical Patriarch saving Orthodoxy or destroying it from within? To his admirers, Bartholomew I is a global statesman, the defender of creation, even the conscience of the Church. To his enemies, he is nothing less than a usurper, a puppet of Western powers, and a traitor to the faith. In 2025, no figure in global Christianity sparks more anger. So why do millions of Orthodox Christians despise him? And what does it mean for the future of the Church? Stay tuned as we break all this down in today's episode. Before we dive in, I'd like you to take a moment to follow Orthodox Handmade on both Instagram and Facebook. There, you'll see all the beautiful Orthodox prayer robes, dazzling crystal icons, and the newly released beaded crystal prayer robes, each one made with care and devotion for the faithful all around the world. Whether you're searching for a meaningful gift, looking to deepen your spiritual life, or simply want to admire the craftsmanship of sacred tradition, Orthodox Handmade is where timeless faith meets handmade beauty. My mission, ladies and gentlemen, is to inspire the faithful to become even closer to Christ, and it is thanks to your love, encouragement, following, and support that I am able to do so. So for this, I am truly, truly grateful. Just a little side note before we dive in, I just wanted to take a second to thank you for tuning in to our last episode where we discussed how Russia could soon take over Mount Athos, and for all the fiery engagement in the comments. I love it. I do want to clear something up though. I can't believe I have to say this, but no, I'm not an agent of Russia, nor am I an agent of Ukraine, nor am I an agent of any country, period. I'm also not working for the, British 77th Brigade, and I'm definitely not part of any shadowy organization some of you love to imagine in the comments. So my only agenda is this. It's simply to put both sides of the story I'm discussing on the table as fairly and objectively as I can, and let you think, question, and invite you to debate it in the comments yourselves. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's get right into it. The Ecumenical Patriarch of Constantinople holds a unique place in Orthodoxy. He is regarded as primus inter pares, which is first among equals. That means symbolic primacy, not papal authority. He presides from Constantinople, or Istanbul, the historic seat of Byzantium, and traditionally has certain rights, such as granting independence to local churches. But the line between spiritual primacy and practical power is precisely where the fiercest battles rage. Bartholomew was born Demetrios Archondonis in 1940 on the island of Imbros in Turkey. He studied in Greece, Germany, and Rome, and became patriarch in 1991, 1 year after I was born, coincidentally. He has been called the Green Patriarch for championing environmental causes. He's spoken at the UN and has been warmly welcomed by Catholic popes and Western leaders. But the longer he has reigned, the deeper controversies around him have grown. The most explosive controversy is the Ukrainian question. In 2018 and 2019, Patriarch Bartholomew granted the Orthodox Church of Ukraine independence, what's called a tomos of autocephaly. To Ukrainians who felt like they had struggled under Moscow's dominance, this was liberation. To Moscow and Ukrainians loyal to the ROC, this was theft. The Russian Orthodox Church immediately severed communion with Constantinople, accusing Bartholomew of violating sacred canons. For his critics, this was proof that the Patriarch was acting as a pope, imposing his will on other churches and playing politics during a war, no doubt. They argue he split the Orthodox world for the sake of Western approval. However, for his supporters, it was seen as simply justice, with opinions such as, quote, no church should be permanently enslaved to another against its will, end quote, being thrown around. This single act still defines why many love him and why many hate him. Now, why the Tomos produced such anger? Well, opponents argue he had no right to enter Moscow's territory. They point to centuries of tradition where each local church governs itself, warning that Bartholomew is claiming powers no patriarch ever had. For Russians and their allies, losing Ukraine means losing a historical cradle of Slavic Christianity. They now see Bartholomew as an enemy of their own identity. And many believe his decision was less about theology and more about aligning with NATO countries against Russia. This view frames him as more politician than patriarch. Another reason for hostility is his approach to the Roman Catholic Church. Bartholomew has embraced dialogue with the Vatican, prayed with popes, and spoken openly about the need for Christian unity. To many Orthodox traditionalists, this is betrayal and nothing less. They fear that opening too far to Rome risks doctrinal compromise and a replay of the failed unions of the past. They accuse him of putting diplomacy ahead of truth. To them, his ecumenism is not generosity but heresy. Now, moving on to Athos. Mount Athos, as many of you know, is an ancient monastic republic in Greece, and it is revered as the beating heart of Orthodox spirituality. But relations between Athonite monks and the Patriarch have often been tense. Many monks reject his decisions on Ukraine, his ecumenical gestures, and what they see as interference in their affairs. For these ascetics, who guard Orthodoxy's purity with their lives, Bartholomew's policies look like corruption, a worldly man trying to dictate to the holy mountain. And perhaps the deepest issue is how Bartholomew understands his role. His critics say he has gradually shifted from being a symbolic first among equals to acting like some sort of Eastern Pope. Statements from Constantinople emphasize his right to grant or withhold autocephaly, to intervene in disputes, and to serve as a final court of appeal. To some, this is a power grab, and to others, it's simply the logical unfolding of the Patriarch's ancient prerogatives. The disagreement cuts to the core of how Orthodoxy is governed, a federation of equals or a communion led by a visible head. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me for this thought-provoking episode. Please be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Orthodox Handmade for more deep dives into the world of faith, history, and culture. It really helps the channel, guys, and it's the best way to support it. It is evident that in 2025, the Ecumenical Patriarch is both a celebrated global figure and a despised one within his own communion. He wants unity, but his actions have often produced division. This raises several questions every Orthodox Christian must wrestle with. Should the Ecumenical Patriarch act as a neutral spiritual father, or as an active decision maker shaping the future of the Church? How far can he go in reaching out to Catholics and other Christians without betraying Orthodoxy's interests and identity? When national churches clash, should he intervene, or step back and let them resolve their own disputes? Is it better to risk disunity by taking bold actions, or to risk stagnation by avoiding them? These are not abstract questions. They go to the heart of what it means to be Orthodox in the modern world, and they will shape the future of global Christianity for decades to come. So what do you guys think? Should Bartholomew continue asserting his authority, or should he pull back? Should he prioritize unity above all, or guard tradition at all costs? Do you like him, or do you hate him? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. It is evident that the debate is not over, and neither is Orthodoxy's struggle with itself. Don't forget to follow Orthodox Handmade on both Instagram and Facebook, where you can see all the custom Orthodox prayer ropes, beautiful crystal icons, and the all-new beaded crystal prayer ropes that I hand make for the faithful all around the world. And if you're interested to learn about the hidden war on Mount Athos, make sure to stay tuned for the upcoming episode that will appear on your screen now. Thank you again for tuning in, and until next time, stay safe and God bless. Славите Господа, за что